Just few more minutes. If you're watching this as a recording, we'll be going live in 5 minutes. So maybe fast forward it 5 minutes if you're watching the recording. If you're live here, just leave me a comment and say, because we are doing live it to Facebook page, our LinkedIn page or LinkedIn profile, as well as YouTube. And this is first time I'm doing it, so I'm just trying to figure out whether it all works or is it all working or not working. So just give us a few minutes for us, please. While I check all, we'll be starting about Azure Cloud Administration, question answer related to Azure certification or cloud certification. So whether you are a beginner, if you're already working, whether you're working in Azure, Oracle Cloud, AWS, any cloud you're working, whether you're working as a project manager, as a senior person, just let us know as well. So let me, while I'm just checking on my phone and see whether we are live or not live, or someone from my team will tell me. Um, Okay, yeah. So Venkatesh was saying you're live. Hi, Venkat. Just tell me, where are you from? Maybe I think you're from Facebook. And okay, I've parallelly opened my window here. Jayaprakash Jeraman is saying you're live on LinkedIn. Great. So and Facebook user, I'm getting from Facebook and LinkedIn, but not from YouTube. We'll wait for a few more minutes. But in the meantime, just let us know where are you from, and what's your background. Are you working on cloud? Which cloud you're working? If you're not working, which cloud you're not, or like why you're still not working. I think I should have started my lights as well. 1 minute here, and just tell me about audio as well, whether my audio is clear or not clear. um, and which part of the world you are. I'm based in UK. It's time here for right now is for me 4:29. I just want to see like whether I'm all okay, everything is fine or not fine. So let me see if I parallelly run on my Facebook page as well. Just give me a few more minutes, guys. I'm still waiting on for my, how does it look like in LinkedIn? Hold on 1 second, whether I do get a notification for myself. I doubt. So Facebook, I'm opening Facebook. Where's my Facebook page? To be frank, a little bit nervous. This first, or like uh, Facebook Live, I'm doing it almost a year later now. No, I've not done this for almost a year now. Okay, I can see now, but I can't see myself on this chat here. That's a little bit, okay, let me go next. No, that was something else. Hold on. Sorry. K20 is live now. Okay, yeah, I can see myself now. Okay, good. Okay, so let me go back to my stream chat. Hi. Okay. So first of all, as I said, give us a few more minutes. Literally, we are on time. What time is right now? Here, 4:30, spot on. I'll start something to give you some little housekeeping background check. So, and also tell me where are you from? And if you like it, don't forget to. If you like this session, don't forget to tell other, or just give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. If I'm going too fast, let me know about that as well. Um, so Balaji is saying, I have plans to do 103. Is it advisable? I'm going to cover that today. Perfect. Vipul is saying, how's the scope of cloud security? Wonderful. I think you should focus on. Vipul is coming from LinkedIn, and he's asking, what is the scope of cloud security? It's huge in demand. Like, I think security, no doubt about it, but you need to first understand the cloud itself before you move on to the security point. Amit is saying loud, clear from LinkedIn. Um, Amin is saying from LinkedIn, based in France. Perfect, guys. Just tell me where are you from, because we are going live from 3 channels: YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. This first time I'm doing with, we are going parallel through live 3 places. But I'll be answering questions whether you're working on cloud, whatever cloud, whether it's AWS, Oracle, or Azure. The concepts remain more or less same. Today I'm going to focus on Azure, but you will be leveraging features related to Oracle as well. Also, I'll be talking about why Oracle DBA should do Azure or vice versa as well. But apart from that, it's not limited to Azure. As I said, it's open to anything. But I will be monitoring chat. My team will be monitoring chat. But we get a lot of questions, so I'll try to answer as many as possible. Let's begin with that. I think we're spot on time. Someone from my team, if you can tell, how are we doing? Great. Uh, Facebook's user, someone from my Facebook user is saying, can I get a free cloud? Absolutely, you can. I'll just give you tips on. I think my team will share all the messages how you can get hold of. You can get a free Oracle Cloud or Azure Cloud. How you can do that as well. We are going to talk. I'm going to talk about as well. Danish is saying, "Oh, hi Danish. I think I've seen you. How are you doing? I'm from India. Dehradun, Facebook. Hi Danish." Vipul is saying cloud exposure in AWS, OCA, Azure. Joined from LinkedIn. Wonderful, Vipul. Um, Soban is saying from Pakistan. Hi everyone. So let's begin with that. So what we are talking right now is Azure Cloud Administration AZ-104. So this is a certification which is latest from Microsoft Azure on Azure. The previous version of that is AZ-103. My name is Atul Kumar. I'm an Oracle ACE, which are awarded by Oracle. It sounds a little bit funny that I'm from Oracle background, got a couple of rewards from Oracle, but I'm talking about Azure. And that tells how multi-cloud is moving, how industry is moving. That tells that you don't limit yourself onto one cloud, perfect one cloud, and then pick up another cloud. This is, and I'll also tell why I'm still working on Oracle Cloud, but how or why, how helping our other customers into Azure Cloud as well. So with that, as I said, we are going live from channel from three places. We are going live from Facebook. This is our Facebook page, k2nacademy.com/Facebook. We're also going from LinkedIn. It's from my personal profile, linkedin.com/in/Oracle Apps DBA. And that tells me I started my career as an Oracle Apps DBA, but now last few years have been in Azure. YouTube, uh, youtube.com/c/K2 Academy, or just search on K2 Academy. We just done 10,000 subscribers, so big congratulations for my team. If you've subscribed to, thank you very much. If not, then probably highly recommend you. On a weekly basis, we upload one video on that. Now we also have a Telegram group, but this Telegram group is targeted only for Microsoft Azure professionals. So if you're working on Azure, or if you want to learn Azure, or would like to help others in Azure, then don't forget to join this group as well, which is t.me/Microsoft Azure. So there are a lot of other professionals in that Microsoft Azure. Now, I'm also going to tell you about the free training for 2 hours training at the end of this with Microsoft certified and Azure expert Eva. Now, I've seen a lot of trainers and I've seen a lot of students teaching, but I've not seen anyone close to what Eva teaches, and that's why I highly regard her. So I highly recommend you, if you want to learn something on Azure, make sure. I'm going to tell you about how you can get hold of this free training a little bit later. So what this training covers, it will talk about why you should learn Azure Cloud, then certification roadmap and I'm going to discuss briefly about that as well here, about certification roadmap, but we'll focus about administration certification, which is AZ-103 or AZ-104. There are 5 main topics about Azure certification, identity and access management being one, then second is storage, third is about compute, which is nothing but your operating system, Linux or Windows machines. We also talk about the other things like architecture of Azure, which I'm going to briefly touch today. And the most important thing is the web apps and Kubernetes and Docker, not Docker, but Kubernetes and container instance, which are added recently in AZ-104 certification exam. So, okay, apart from that, fourth topic is about networking, which is huge about that. And then backup and restore, or backup and restore, disaster recovery, monitoring, all those fifth topic. Then what's the difference between exam basics and then hands-on labs that you must perform. This is all covered in this training. And the most important thing is, as I said, I come from database background. That doesn't mean that you need to be a DBA or apps DBA. But why I pivoted from being, and I'm not losing my experience, I'm continuing with that, but I'm also learning new things. I've been working with Azure customers, so how we're implementing, how you can also pivot if you're a DBA, apps DBA. The name of the game, I say, is multi-cloud. So I'll answer that as well. So all this is covered a little bit later. So this is talking about the feedback. So we run a show where we say 5-star, give us a rating from between 1 to 5, 5 being the best. And if you look at here, EVA is 20 plus, like rating point of view, people say, oh, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 5 and then more than 5, 5 plus 1, 5, excellent, wonderful. Unfortunately, she is not here right now today, but I'll bring her maybe in future sessions as well. So, but With that, we did a session and we get lots and lots of questions, and I couldn't finish all the questions. So I thought I'll take this opportunity and answer questions today here. And if you have any live questions, let me know about those live questions, your live questions as well for that, for me. Okay. So does 103 exam still exist or only 104? We'll talk questions like these also. So just to answer your question, if the question was from Pranav, I think we've already answered, but 103 still exists, AZ-103, but you can go for AZ-104. My suggestion to you would be go for 104. The reason being is 104 covers Docker, Kubernetes, and I think it's fun to learn new things. Also, I'll cover all these questions in a minute here. So what I would like to say is focus and ask questions. And if you have any question, I'll answer that. Let me pick up one or two questions. Again, LinkedIn user saying, good, everyone, very smart, small brand, EPA, Infotech, I need your support. Definitely let us know what help you need, EPA, Infotech, what support you need. Um, okay. Hey, hey, Eli. Good. Hi there. Hello, all. Hi. Okay, let's begin with then questions. So first of all, um, the one question I get hundreds and hundreds of time is which cloud is good? Should I do AWS? Should I go Oracle? Should I go Azure? And what's your view? Just leave me in a comment and say what do you think. If you have to pick up one cloud, which cloud you will pick and why? And probably I'll answer my question as my thing as well. And let's see if anyone, how many of guys comment here and tell me. Um, so, okay, so I think there is a delay about in the background. So I'll move on or let me know which cloud you will pick up and why you will pick up. Multi-cloud, wonderful. I think that's spot on. So people used to say, oh, I want to learn AWS only, or I want to learn Oracle Cloud, or I would like to learn Azure Cloud. My answer to it is, why just limit yourself to one cloud? Multi-cloud is the name of the game. You should be learning more than one cloud, and I'll tell today why, or what Oracle and Microsoft have done in terms of they've connected their cloud and how that cloud works. We'll talk about that as well. Wonderful. So let's first begin with in terms of stages. So first beginning journey, if you're just starting out, if you're new to Azure, first and the most important thing, like with any other cloud, is start with fundamentals. And so you start stage one, which is fundamentals, and you can go with the certification number is AZ-900. Once you have done the fundamentals, then depending your background, you can go for administration, which is AZ, I think 103, 104. These are the numbers. 104 is what we are going to talk about today. 103 is the one which probably is the older version. So 104, 103 is the latest version. Now with that, you also have the developer. And if you're a developer, which I've not covered here, which is AZ-200 if you are developer background. Then once you have this administration or a developer, then you can move into the stage three, which are 3-star certificate. You go for Azure DevOps or you go for Azure Architect Solution. And then you can go for specialist, which is like if you're coming from SAP background, Microsoft Azure has a specialist, but I think probably worth going through either this or that. Now, the common question we get is, oh, do I have to first do certification fundamental and then go here? No, you can directly jump onto the administration. But to go to level 3, which is DevOps engineer, you have to have this level 2 certification. And for solution architect, you can directly go, but it's worth going via 02 here. So I think that makes sense, or I hope it is clear. If not, let me know if you have any question on this. So this is again in a different view. You start with here fundamental and you can go into the either developer I was talking about or administration. And from here, you can go for other certifications. So let's move on from here. Now, I've already mentioned to you about earlier, but very quickly, I've around 20 years of experience on in total in IT, based in UK, but I've helped customers in migrating from on-premise to cloud, be it Oracle Cloud primarily. Last 3-4 years have been Oracle Cloud, but now started picking up Azure Cloud. I'm an author. I've written books and I've done speak at various events. Primarily, again, as I said, is from Oracle user groups, but I've been starting on Azure as well or Microsoft as well. So the main purpose is to help individuals like you in your journey to cloud. And these are some of the success stories to inspire that the students like you or individuals like you who had no knowledge of cloud, they've started learning cloud, and it's all doable and possible. So again, these are some of the success stories to inspire you on how you can achieve success. So very quickly, these are some of the happy customers. And if you like today's session, we run these workshops regularly at customer premises. And if you want to reach out, by all means, drop a message to my team, and they will be happy to help you. We run these workshops regularly with corporate customers. So I think I've covered certification, but and if anyone have any questions, please let me know about those questions, please. Okay, so this is the about as your AZ-104 certification topic. The certification you get is uh, 5 topics which I was talking about earlier. You have 15 to 20%, which is as your identity and governance. 10 to 15% is storage, and this is where the changes happened right now, where compute resources, they've added additional topic which is about um, the kubernetes and docker and web apps. So that has gone slightly higher, which is 15, 25 to 30%. Manage virtual networking is 30 to 35%. And then you have, so oh sorry, networking is one of the difficult ones in my view, which takes or based on what students tell us, that networking is where they struggle. So this is stay of pay special attention on this networking part. And then backup and restore and monitoring, which is 10 to 15%. So I probably will not go, because my focus here is to answer as many questions as possible. But I'll quickly walk through in terms of these are the subtopics that you should be learning for as your administration certification. So these are 5 main topics, and within these 5 topics. So the main important thing is you need to learn architecture, which is you need to understand what is fault domain and what is update domain. I'm going to cover that in a little bit later. Again, because you have something called as availability set or availability zone. When you're deploying the virtual machines, you have an option from availability point of view. What is availability zone? Or you can make it availability zone specific highly available, or you can make it the availability set specific for highly available. So this is where these things come into picture. I think I should have done animation. I think there was an animation. I don't know why it's not, but it's fine. So you have this concept of fault domain, and you have an update domain. So fault domain, assume you have a server rack, and in which you have multiple servers. And then update domain is that where you have this particular rack in the server, which is update domain 1. This is where another rack in second server, which is update domain 2, and so on. So this together provide high availability within a data center. So you have a data center, and multiple data centers together make an availability zone. So availability zone are nothing but the geographically like multiple data centers combined together is availability zone. And in availability zone, multiple availability zone combined together make a region, and multiple regions together make a geography. And how these are important: if you're deploying your applications like databases or the compute machine or the Linux or Windows machines, you need to see for high availability and disaster recovery point of view how or where you're deploying. Now, one tip here: not every region has all the 3 availability zone. Some region has just 1 availability zone, while other regions have multiple availability zones. So then you need to learn about Active Directory, Azure Active Directory. And Azure Active Directory is nothing but your users and groups repository on Microsoft Azure. And where users and groups, it's nothing like users like you and me who will be actually logging on to your Azure cloud. And then you have subscriptions, which is nothing but when you take a trial account, you take subscription. So then you can also integrate your Azure Active Directory with Microsoft Active Directory on premise. Now, if you're doing 103, then you need to learn something called as AAD Connect, which is Azure Active Directory Connect, which is nothing but that connects your on-premise Active Directory with Cloud Active Directory. And then, but if you're doing 104, that topic, which is the Azure AD Connect, AAD is being removed in from 104 certification exam. Okay. So guys, is it all making sense? Is it all, am I making sense? Are you getting it, or are you understanding it? Good. Okay, let me pick up a question. Um, Raj is saying, are your classes live trading or recorded videos? So we have both. So we have a record. So what we do, Raj, is, and I think Raj is coming from Facebook. So the trainings that we do, we also have a recorded and we have a live. We do both. The reason being is when you come to the class for the live sessions, we ask you to go through the recorded videos first so that you understand, and you will not get fully 100% from that recorded videos. Then when you come to the class, you will be asking questions, and by the time you come to the class, you will already know a little bit about that. So it's both. You will get both of them, Raj. Another one is Samson from Anim is saying, I'm about to write AZ-103 or think it's advisable to do 104 instead of 103. I think good point. I think he's coming from LinkedIn, Anim. So you can go for, if you have already decided, go for 103, that's totally okay. And your 103 will automatically be converted into 104. So that's not a problem. Your certificate will be valid for next 2 years. So you're totally okay with 103. But my suggestion to you would be then at least learn Docker and Kubernetes and web apps, new topics that are introduced in 104, because that's where industry is moving. The containerization is where industry is moving. So learn those two things as well. Bibin is saying, which is the Azure certification for developers? AZ-200 series, I think, for developers, AZ-200. And then also look for Bibin DevOps. So I think next week we are talking about DevOps for beginners. So have a look at for DevOps. So for developers, I think you should also go for DevOps is the better view. Eric is saying, yeah, it makes sense. Thank you, Eric. Imran is saying, getting it, Atul. Thank you very much, Imran from LinkedIn. Facebook is saying, okay, I think, hi Raj, you will get, oh yeah, I think my team have already answered this question. So I think, Yamni, if I missed any question, any important question, put it me again here, because I can see there are a lot of messages I'm getting from all the three sources. For some reason, I'm not sure. Okay, no, we are on YouTube as well. I'm getting some messages from YouTube as well. Good. Is Microsoft also providing Azure free Azure certification? No, Mohammed Rahil. Microsoft is not providing free certification. You need to pay for these certifications. I'll take up one or two questions. Can we go directly for security exam instead of 104? What would you recommend? Eric is saying very interesting question. So if you go back here from a security certification, very quickly on certification point of view, so Microsoft have a security, yeah. So security engineer associate, which is I think AZ-500, the exam number. You can directly, technically, yes, you can go for directly here for AZ-500, but my suggestion to you would be either do administration or go for solution architect and then go for security, because by the time you will have an understanding of the component what you want to secure, you can directly go for security, but then the struggle will be you don't know what you want to secure, you don't know how the servers are deployed, you don't know what all the different components are, so you will struggle in my view a little bit. So my suggestion to you would be do first administration and then go for security. I hope that answers your question. um, I think there's one more question from likewise Oracle LinkedIn user saying, okay, so for those who are confused about what I'm answering, Oracle is right now doing some free certification exam coupons, but there is no such coupon available for Microsoft. So just for that, yeah. Imran is saying, are you planning to have any session for DevOps like Docker and Kubernetes? Yes, that's right, Imran. We're starting for, so we already had DevOps for Azure DevOps. We already had DevOps certification, this one. But now what we are doing is, we thought that because there's a prerequisite for DevOps, which is either administration or developer, uh, and also a lot of students who come, they don't have a basic DevOps certification or basic DevOps knowledge. So we are first starting out DevOps for beginners and then go with DevOps for experts. um, okay, Venkat, I'm going to cover that. Hold on your question for a minute. Venkat is coming from YouTube about which one would recommend for Oracle DBs. I'm going to tell you about that. If you're talking about Azure, then I would suggest begin with administration, because that's where you will start administration. That's what I'm doing. I did it, and I'm now working on towards solution architect now here. So I think, but I'm going to tell you why Oracle DBA should learn Azure in a minute. I think that was a question from Venkat. Do you feel Oracle IDM would relevant be in the next 2 years? I think yes, Akash. Oracle IDM will still be relevant in my view, but upgrade and learn cloud as well. Let's move on, guys. Very quickly, let's move on. So Then you need to understand is something called as resource subscription, resource group, and management group. How are we going with the time, Yamini? Oh gosh, okay, let me move a little bit quicker. Thanks. So resource is nothing but individual units that you subscribe, which is your SQL Server databases, your machines, VMs, everything. And then resource group is nothing but a collection of these resources. And then you have a subscription where you can have one account when this is how you buy as your licenses. And but you can have a department wide subscription. So I have a India team for one subscription, UK team a different subscription, or I can go for a department wise finance team one, or finance project one subscription, sales project or a sales and marketing implementation another subscription. So that's, and then on top of that you have a management group, and this is where you can apply the policies. So this is all about you should be learning and knowing. And then how can you access your Azure? You have something called as PowerShell, or you can have Azure portal, or you have Azure CLI. So these things you should be learning from administration point of view or architect point of view. Then, and again, I'm keeping it very, very high level, 30,000 foot view. Then you have a storage account, and there are different type of storage. And if you're coming from Oracle background, you have a block of storage, you have a file storage, and you have a object storage. So object storage is nothing but blob here, which is binary large object storage. Then you have a table storage, and then you have a queue storage. So you also have file storage and disk storage. And file storage is same as FSS you see on Oracle background. And these two together basically you use when you're creating a virtual machines. For virtual machines, you can also do blob, but blob you can also access via the REST API. So make sure you understand storage. What has happened in AZ-104 is the storage account, the weightage of storage has gone slightly down, but there will be still questions about Azure storage. Now, Kubernetes and Docker, this is topic which when we started implementing containers and Kubernetes, I now understand why people love it, why it's such a big hit. So make sure you understand containers, Dockers, Kubernetes. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Then networking is another important thing that you should be learning. And what we do in terms of what I mean by networking, just give me 1 minute, please. Okay. Okay. I'm keeping up. No, okay, questions. Okay, let me focus on this one first. I'm getting a lot of questions. I'm inclined to answer, but let me finish here at a logical point, and then I'll answer your question. Also, if for some reason we miss your question, don't worry. My team will go tomorrow and check all the messages, and they will probably answer and as or they will reach out to me if they can't answer questions, or I'll try to answer here. Now, what you have is a network which is called it as VNet in Azure, and VNet is something or virtual network is something similar to in OCI you or Oracle Cloud. You have VCN, virtual cloud network. I keep mixing these things. Virtual cloud network. Then you have a subnet, which is same as you do a smaller network. And subnet you have then you connect to your these things with on-premise using either VPN gateway, or you can use express route. And express route is something what you have in Oracle Cloud, which is fast connect. And then you can have multiple networks. You can connect these networks. All these are networks on the cloud, and you can connect these through peering, and you can do it in hub and spoke model. This is another thing you should be learning or knowing in Azure administration or Azure solution architect. In solution architect, there are two exams. We'll talk about it later. So then from a backup and restore point of view, there are a lot of topics, but Azure site recovery is where you do site to site recovery, where you have region one, your all the site applications, and then another region for another application, sorry, same set of application, but as a disaster recovery. And this is where Azure has a tool called Azure Site Recovery, which will do the, excuse me. So this will do your replic or disaster recovery site or builds disaster recovery. So again, as I said, I've done a very high level. Now, if you want to get hold of this training, this is a 2 hours free training, and we have more advanced trainings as well. But free training, you can go to k2academy.com/AZ-10402. This is where we covered about, I mentioned about Eva, where I'll be bringing Eva, who is Microsoft certified trainer as well as Azure expert. And I think brilliant the way she teaches. So that's something which I'm going to talk about, or you can register this. That 2 hours training is absolutely free. Very quickly about the exam topic. There'll be 40 to 60 questions. You have 180 minutes to finish them, and there'll be either multiple questions, there'll be drag and drop, there'll be true, false, different type of questions, but there's no negative marking. One question we get is there a negative marking? No. Now, there will also be some case studies and the lab exercise as well. Okay, I'll cover that on a lab exercise in a minute. But how much does it cost? The exam costs $165, and depending on, there might be slightly different in your country, or I think it's same across all. You need to pass 700 questions. There's no negative marking, and in case, which is highly unlikely, if you practice, if you do the theory part, learn better, well. If you do all the hands-on that I suggest in the free training, then you should be able to clear the certification. Or also three things: theory, certification preparation, exam question, what do you call, exam sample, like prepare or see what kind of a questions to expect in the exam. And third is practical. These three things, if you do together, you should be able to clear it. In highly unlikely case, if you fail, then you make sure that you have, or you can redo the exam after 24 hours. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that you will clear the exam, and I'm not saying that people don't fail. What I'm trying to say is you need to prepare well, but if you prepare, you should be able to clear it. And those are the success stories which I mentioned to you earlier. And like there are like hundreds of students or guys from our, like, who have done successfully, who are part of the membership or the training program that we have. Now, how the exam delivery happens, you can either go to the testing center. Now, I'm not sure in current situation, and because it's everything is locked down for me here, I've not gone out of my probably the neighborhood for almost now 8 weeks now, 2 months. I'm based in UK, and I think UK is number 2 now in terms of death rate, like the COVID related cases. So we have not been out our, like, we've been out of a house, but not more than 50 meters on our house, and then we get all the delivery. So I'm not sure whether testing center will be possible for now, but you can do it from home. I'm doing my lot of certifications from home, so you can do it from home. So that's about the delivery options. Then, okay, this is what I want to talk about is there will be performance based testing. And this is something good news for you right now. What I've been told and by a lot of our students that right now there's no certificate performance based test coming in the exam. So they typically, if you do this test, literally you have to actually log into the portal and do some hands-on, and that's what Azure will or Microsoft will expect you to do. But currently, these lab tests are not happening, and I saw in one of the forums from from Microsoft team that their Azure is overloaded, which means the cloud is so much in demand. Companies are implementing cloud, they're not finding enough resources for exam point of view. So that's why they have, or and then they are having a lot of bandwidth issues or the compute issues. That's why they, for the timing, it's not the exam is sorry, these performance based labs are not happening. That doesn't mean that that can't happen or they can't start again. But, and don't quote me for that, if that comes into your exam. That's what I've been heard and our students are telling it to us. Okay. Now, as I said, this is a free training I was talking about. So this is a about question answer. It's a 2-hour session which we'll talk about. I've already mentioned about all this. You can go to k2academy.com/AZ-10402 and attend it. As I said, excellent feedback we receive, and the question answers I've mentioned, most of the questions I've already answered, but I'm going to cover it today. But that's where we move into the next part of this session, which is, okay, we're spot on time. I think we're doing good on time, and we should be having another 15-20 minutes uh, for um, for any other discussions which I might have. So what is container instance? And this is what I'm going to talk about. What is container, Docker, and then Kubernetes? Because that was question came a lot of times in our AZ-104, the minute we said, oh, there'll be a lot of certifications. But let me pick up few questions. Okay, so there is a tweet, but I don't know. I think there was, oh, Restream is saying, okay, the tool I'm using it saying I've got 100 messages, and it's a big achievement. I don't know, like, um, Anim is saying, we'll sure watch it and sign up for Azure. I mean, perfect. I mean, Hassam is saying, I passed my OCI Architect Associate. It should be easy for me to who came up OCI background. Yes, yes, that's right. So I'm not saying easy, but you should be able to correlate your things with Azure administration very, very easily. That's right. That's right. Hassan, Hassan coming from LinkedIn. Yes. There'll be a lot of correlations. I'm going to talk a little bit later about this in that. Atula, it's me, it's my team. Okay, they've already answered. Okay, great. Uh, Farooq is saying, I did my AWS practitioner and booked OS4 exam home base. Perfect. Well done. Yes, that's right. Great. All the best, Farooq. Okay. So virtual machine versus Docker, and probably I'm sure by now in current world everyone knows about virtual machine. Anyone who doesn't know about virtual machine, so type I don't know. Just type, and there's nothing wrong in not knowing. I didn't know a lot of things when I was in university. I didn't know about what RAM or disk at the time when I was into when I joined my masters. So it's totally okay. But if you are, just let us know, or if you know virtual machine, leave a comment and say I'm clear or I know about virtual machine. Let's see how many of you know virtual machines, or how many of you don't know, and it's totally okay, as I said earlier. So there's a physical server and there's a hypervisor, and for each virtual machine it has its own guest operating system, and so that's why you can run applications without impact with all its dependencies within the guest operating system, and you get all the dependencies. We've been doing virtual machine for a good few now, 2004-5 I last remember I started doing them. but but as I said, containers have been now last 10 years. Containers have been in industry for almost 10 years now, but last couple of years have seen tremendous growth in containers. So what you have in containers, you have the same physical server and you have operating system like you have for virtual machines, but instead of directly on operating system, you have something called as container engine. And that container engine provides all the necessary framework to run your containers. And then all you do is you run container one. And that is where with all its dependencies, binaries, libraries, and application like web server. Or you run container two with app two. And this is where you run all the, like for example, this is now my database server. So container one web server, container two database server, container three maybe a messaging server, or four something else. And you can run multiple servers. Or I might say, this is my dev server, this is my test server, and this is my all my production servers. But that's exactly what I was doing in VM as well. So what advantage Docker or so these containers are giving me over virtual machines? So let me know, what do you think? Eddie is saying I'm clear on VM, perfect. But Eddie, can you answer this question about virtual machine, or what container advantage container is giving me? Now, by the way, container is Docker is one implementation of container. So Docker is a company, Docker Inc. They've been recently bought over by some other company. So they run containers. Uh, Similar to that, every company now, Oracle have their own container, container implementation. Azure have its own container implementation. Linux, so it all started with Linux being starting their containers. So containers are all there. Docker is one of them. So let me know, what do you think about why containers, what advantage containers bring over a virtual machine? And this is where, if you see, the answer lies in this operating system. So in virtual machines, all your guest operating systems have their own operating system. Whereas here, Docker, all these containers share the same kernel or same operating system, so that when these containers come up, they use less resources because there is no separate operating system for each of these containers. There's shared operating system. Similarly, the type of space they take, whether it's a memory, whether it's disk, very small or very tiny compared to virtual machine. Or third is the boot up time is seconds, and this is where the Docker comes into picture. Making sense? Um, okay, so then there is a Docker engine. You have, again, we'll probably looking at the time, I'm not going to go a little bit deep into, but you have very quickly, you have Docker daemon, which is nothing but your Docker server engine. So on a server, you run a Docker server, and on server, you have then REST APIs, which is the way to interface or interact with this daemon. And you have a command line interface. And then you have, with Docker, you have images, and I'll explain you an image, what a minute. But if this machine inside the Docker or the application you're running needs space, then you can, this is where the data volume will come into handy. Or if they need network, this is where this network, you can use Like similar to virtual machines, you have the network inside the Docker engine or the container engine. So if you see in the middle here, you have a Docker server. So this is, assume this is a machine or a host. On that host, you install a Docker daemon. And then in that machine, then you can run multiple containers. So you can have container 1, 2, 3. And like that, you can have hundreds of machines, each machine running maybe 5, 10, or 100 containers. All these are created using something called as Docker image or container image. And these container images are stored in something called as image registry or repository. And they in turn you will have client talking to these containers using command line interface via the Docker daemon. And this is very simple layman's terminology about it. And then as I was talking about, you have Docker images, and these images then go and create your Docker containers using these images you create. Or you can, once you have done, let's suppose you have made a change, you can then package. So let's suppose you're installing a database or installing web server, and you have to make some changes. You made some changes in that, and you've done your own extra bits on that. And then you can again wrap it up and make it an image, create another image, and then spin off another container. So that's all about container. How do you create them? If you're in Azure, you can use command line interface or using GUI. If you're in Oracle, you can do the same thing. AWS, you can do the same thing. So it's implementation of containers on Azure cloud is Azure Container Instance. This is another topic or new topic you should be learning. Now, that's fine, but why Kubernetes then? What is Kubernetes doing? Why will um, Kubernetes or problem solves? What is the problem that Kubernetes solves? Anyone? Any questions? Any comments on what problem does Kubernetes solve? Okay, let me see. There's a how long is the master class, please? I think it's roughly around 2 hours. I think it depends now. The class, it depends now, depending on the question. So probably roughly around 1.5 to 2 hours. 2 hours I would keep aside. 1.5. You can, yeah. If you don't like it, fine. You can skip early, but I think it'll be so engaging you'll stick around in my view if you are interested in Azure cloud. Now Akshay is saying please teach Java with Docker and AWS. Sorry, I'm not a developer, Akshay. I wish I could help. Maybe please teach Java with maybe we'll bring someone in maybe developer side in future. I'm not a developer. I'm more on work on architect side, admin side. Okay. Oh yeah, so my team have already shared. If you want to know more about containers, Dockers, Kubernetes, we have a blog recently posted today, k20academy.com/az1 az10413. Let me tell about that as well. Hold on one second. Okay. So this is our blog. If you want to go more about it, k20academy.com/blog. And this is where we regularly, my team and I post regularly about different things. So this is about the one which I was talking about, Kubernetes and Docker. And this is where AZ-900, if you're a beginner in Azure, we are doing a lot of topics about AZ-900, about this. And then there should be a lot of, again, for OIC, if you're from Oracle background or Data Safe or Azure dashboard and other things. This is what I was talking about is k20academy.com/AZ104. I think 13 number is the one which we posted today about Docker and Kubernetes today. Oh, wow, 43 shares. We posted this on today morning. Wonderful. So this is what I was talking about. All this is here. My son is here. He just finished. So give me 1 second. I'm in a live show. So hold on. No, I'm using it right now for the chat. No, okay, hold on. Give me 30 more minutes. Okay. Sorry guys. This is my. It's. I think I've used his laptop for all the comments. So okay, going back, sorry for that. So Azure Kubernetes services is, so okay, so I was coming back, what problem does Kubernetes solve? Now, if you have one container, which is fine, if you have one container, two containers, it's totally okay. But you, in practical implementation, you have hundreds of servers. I'm talking about container servers where container engine is running. You have hundreds of servers in typical implementation, or a big corporate implementation, or a medium size, you might have 15, 20 servers. And within each container, then you can have the probably around 5, 10, 15, 20 container instances. So you have hundreds and thousands of container instances that you need to manage. And it becomes very difficult to manage that. And this is where the container orchestration or container management engine comes into picture. And that's what Kubernetes does. So Kubernetes is an open source launched by, so Google um, is a creator for Kubernetes, and they later handed it over back to the open source community. Now it's an open source. Kubernetes is an open source to manage all your container engines or container servers, orchestration, create, destroy, all those things. Now, do you have other products as well in the market? Yes. So you have a Docker Swarm, SWARM, Docker Swarm, which is for managing the containers. Or there is I think there is a couple of more, but Kubernetes is very common. And the implementation of that Kubernetes in Azure cloud is Azure Kubernetes service. So you have a master node, which basically is managing all these individual container servers we call worker node. So master node managing the container nodes. Similar thing in Oracle Cloud is Oracle Kubernetes engine. Making sense? Good one. So this is where then you have create AKS cluster. How do you create AKS cluster? As your Kubernetes cluster using, you can do it by using CLI. You can use it doing portal. You can using ARM template. Another thing you should be knowing about Azure Resource Manager templates for administration certification. Is it all making sense? Okay. Is it all making sense? Okay, handyman, there's few questions. Akshay saying, I'm into PHP with Kubernetes. Wonderful, Akshay, well done. Some Rama Rao saying, great updates, sir. Thank you very much, Rama Rao. Guys, give me thumbs up or give me Facebook likes, hearts if you like it, if you're understanding it, if I'm making sense on that. Good. Imran is saying any comparison between Docker and Kubernetes, like which one is most demanding in okay, so Imran, first of all, Docker and Kubernetes are different things. Okay, so Docker is good in containers. So Docker is good in containers and Kubernetes is good in managing. So Docker containers are good in Docker from Docker, but the management is Kubernetes. So the Docker has another management tool like Kubernetes, which is called as a Docker Swarm, but that's not that famous. So what you should be learning is container. You should be learning from Docker, and managing that containers orchestration should be learning from Kubernetes. Should be doing both Docker versus Docker and Kubernetes. I hope that makes sense. Handyman is saying, what is the difference between Azure Cloud and Oracle Cloud? Good question, or basic question, but we say that no question is a beginner question or very good. So Azure Cloud is the cloud from Microsoft Azure. Oracle Cloud is from Oracle. IBM Cloud is from IBM. AWS Cloud is from Amazon Cloud. So all these cloud vendors. Alibaba is from Alibaba Cloud is from Alibaba. So these all different cloud vendors. They have like so. Okay, then what hands-on you should be doing? And again, as I was talking about, if you did do the side in certification, you should be learning doing a lot of hands-on, because this is how you learn. So you implement container instance. You should be doing some lab exercises on deploying the container instances. Similarly, you should be building and implementing Azure Kubernetes services. Again, this is how a lot of our students do get result, is by actually doing it, and you should also be doing these things. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, then next, and now I think we're on the last leg of that, and probably, I should have done the question answer, so I'll pick up questions very, very quickly. My mistake, sorry. Very quickly about DBAs, or if you're coming from Oracle background, you'll find it interesting. Oracle DBAs, apps DBAs, developers, how Oracle for Azure. So if you're not sure, early 2019, which is last year, Oracle and Microsoft announced that they are going to do it. They're going to join their cloud, and which they have. They've done it right now for 5 regions in US East Coast, in London, in Europe, in Canada. Sorry, in Canada, yeah, in Canada and Japan recently. So these 5 places where what happens is, in Oracle Cloud side, you have Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. In Microsoft side, you have Microsoft Azure. In Microsoft side, you have something called as Express Route. In Oracle side, you have something called as Fast Connect. So these are 10 Gbps, a very, very big pipe. Assume there is a big pipe. These 2 pipes talking to each other. So you have under milliseconds latency for network point of view. So what it gives me, I can run my application on here and another application here. They can talk to each other under milliseconds. This is a big, big boost. So what happens is then, best of both worlds. I want to run my databases Oracle is good in databases. Oracle is good in, they have autonomous databases or Exadata. Microsoft is good in Active Directory, Microsoft Azure Active Directory. They're good in Office 365. They're good in Power BI, BI analytics. Or if I want to running mixed workload, I can run here. And this is where Microsoft and Azure partnership come into the picture. Making sense? Uh, just give me a thumbs up and say, am I making sense? Is it all flowing up? Just let me know in comment section. Is it all making sense? Is it all? Are you from Oracle background? Are you from Azure background? What background you are from? Good. Microsoft has own SQL DB. That's right. Yeah, that's right. So, each all the cloud vendor, all the companies have everything of their own. So yes, Microsoft is SQL Server, but not everyone will go to the SQL DB. All the big corporates, big all the ERP, financial, big telecoms, they want to have a very powered, like very powerful systems. So if you need, that's where the Exadata or autonomous database will come into picture. But that doesn't mean that same customer might also need a lower spec servers as well, or they might need some SQL database as well. Yes. So it's not like one size fit all. You will have, depending on requirement, you will have different applications. So very quickly tell you about what you have here is, this is my Oracle side virtual cloud network. In my Azure side, I have a VNet virtual network. I have a subnets here. So my application tier is talking to via the network gateway here, talking to the in Oracle world, it's dynamic routing gateway DRG, and here I have express route talking to the fast connect. And in Azure, from security point of view, you have a Azure Active Directory, and in Oracle I have a Oracle IDCS, Identity Cloud Service, or I might be using OCI, local native users, so I can hook in and connect my users here. So this is one option. This is basically how these two cloud are connected. But most important point is for e-business suite. If you have e-business suite databases, e-business suite running on my Azure cloud, you have two implementation method. My e-business suite, my the database tier of e-business suite is running on. So assume I've already connected my two clouds. My e-business suite database tier is running on Exadata or virtual machine DB system. But my apps tier and my identity management system, my Active Directory, Azure Active Directory is running on Azure Cloud. So this is where, how I'm doing, my on-premise is talking to Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory will then in turn, I have availability zones here, and my apps tier, EBS apps tiers are running on Azure. They in turn talking to the database tier. And my identity and access management part for e-business suite, I have an EBS asserter. Those are deployed on again on Azure, and they are talking to my Azure Active Directory. So I can log in to e-business suite using Azure Active Directory users. I'll still need IDCS. I'll still need all those things, but I'm logging in through my users stored in Azure Active Directory. Application tier running here, database running here. That's one implementation. Or I can go directly here, which is my all my entire my EBS database tier as well as apps tier are in Azure cloud. Why? Because companies have decided I'm going to go only Azure. In that case, if they've decided to go for Azure and they have e-business suite and they don't want to go to Oracle cloud, then they can put it on Azure cloud. This is the deployment implementation being our customers paying. Right? Making sense? Or you can have PeopleSoft, same concept. I can have PeopleSoft application tier here on the Azure cloud, and my databases on the Oracle cloud, which is Exadata cloud service. Or I can have full my entire PeopleSoft here onto the Azure cloud. Why? Because companies, they've taken a direction saying that all my applications will go to Azure, or all my the application tier workload will go to Azure cloud, all my database tier workload will go to the Oracle Exadata, or my high-end spec database tier will go into the to the Oracle cloud. My middle and low end database workload will go into the to SQL. So mixed workload, and this is where the multi-cloud. This is where what we are getting a lot of demand, where you have mixed workload, and this is why DBAs like me, apps DBAs, anyone working on Oracle should also have a knowledge of Azure. This is where I started learning Azure a couple of years back. So hope I'm making sense now. Is it all good? Let me take a few questions. And thank you, my team. Saji, as I said, yes, Microsoft has its own SQL databases. Venkat, yes. Anim is saying, yes, great stuff. Thank you very much, Anim. Um, Raj Kumar is saying, I'm from Oracle Apps DBA background, but working on many other products in Oracle side. Wonderful, Raj. And as I said, are you learning cloud? Are you doing Apps DB on cloud? And if not, maybe I think worth picking up the cloud. Whether you do Oracle cloud or Azure cloud, pick up cloud. Venkat is saying, due to nature of business, each vendor choosing different cloud vendor provider. That's right. That is correct, Venkat. And what we have seen is that a lot of customers now also started picking up multi-cloud as well. Again, guys, give me thumbs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rating. Is it like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? What do you think? And again, don't worry. Just give me whatever is genuine feedback. 5 is being the best, and 1 being the least. Am I making sense? Are you learning? Is it interesting? Have you learned something new? Is it all making sense? So give me from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Um, okay. Okay. Chat window will come a little bit later. So tell me about a little bit about feedback here. For Tapas, thank you very much, Tapas. For I would love to hear what I could have done to make it 5 again. And again, thank you very much for the genuine feedback. What I could have done to make it 5. Thank you. Farooq, thank you very much for 5. As I said, I'm going to beat, I'm trying to beat, if I can beat Eva, I'm not going to do that. I'm not as good as she is. But yes, of course. Thank you very much for these 5. Venkat, thank you. Julfikar, thank you very much. Let's move on. I'll take 1 or 2 questions and I will move on. Um, Vijay is saying we have to take both subscription on or comes in a bundle. I think you have to do the same, both the subscriptions. You have to take Vijay both. If you go for Azure multi-cloud, you have to take subscription both from Azure as well as Oracle. But what happens is the support is they combine the support, so you can either go to Oracle support or you can go for Azure support, and both will support each other in terms of when we say. So let's suppose the main challenge comes is I think this is question is from to Vijay from YouTube. So support you'll be picking up from you can pick up any support, but you will subscription you have to pick from both. Now what if you have a problem? So if let's suppose you started with the application tier and Azure has done the investigation and they think that the problem is the database side, so they are going to in turn open another ticket with database server, and depending on where you took the support contract, so you have a cloud contract and then you have support contract, and so each other they've done basically there's a separate team for Azure Oracle Microsoft relationship. Yeah. Sorry for that. Firoz saying no. Saji from YouTube is saying, do we need strong Linux background to study Oracle Cloud? No. Not for no strong Linux background. I don't know Linux. I only know the basic Linux command, ls, cp, ci, all that's all I know. Saji, no, and not let anyone tell you, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. When I started my career, I think 20 years back, people said, oh, you can't become an apps DBA directly. I said, no. If I have a zeal, if I want to do it, I can do it, and I did it. I started my career directly as an apps DBA, and it was a bold move at the time in 2000, and that got me benefited. Similarly, then 2004-5, people said, "Oh, you shouldn't be moving identity access management." I did. 2015-16 cloud. That's how you should be staying ahead in the learning curve. So don't let anyone tell you that you can't do. Okay. Firoz saying, is there any labs from K2? Yes, we have extensive lab in Azure. That's right, Firoz. So we have, I think the URL is k2academy.com/AZ-103. We'll quickly tell you about. I think, I'm not sure if the new URL has come, but AZ-103 102.2.2.0.5. Or maybe my team will share, maybe the new URL 105, 104 might be. So k2academy.com/AZ-103.05. These are the labs you should be doing. Cloud account, Cloud Shell, implementing Azure storage. I think we'll update SQL Server is no more required for administration, so we'll clean it up. And there'll be DNS, network peering, traffic manager, network watcher, Azure site recovery, huge. Hands-on is I crave hands-on. I'm a pretty hands-on person. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we have to take both in trial account of Oracle Composer. Can we test mixed workload? Yeah. Oh no, Firoz, okay, I'm not sure if you can do. I think you can. I'll check and come back. So earlier, yes, we have a hands-on about that mixed workload. Um, but I think whether they have right now or have changed, because Oracle has recently strictened, both the cloud vendor have like done something strict recently. But I'll check and come back to you. But yes, we have a lab exercise for this on trial account. Um, Tapas is saying I'll teach side is in multi-cloud. I'll more teach tech side in multi-cloud. Perfect, Tapas. Excellent overview. Thanks, Tapas. Thank you. Vijay is saying from LinkedIn, but the services are running in different cloud, right? That's right, Vijay. So your database is running on Oracle Cloud, and your application tier is running on the Azure Cloud. That's the feed concept for multi-cloud. That's right, Tapas. Masood is saying, I'm interested in Azure as well. Perfect, Masood. Keep learning from LinkedIn. Keep learning Azure Cloud. Wonderful. Um, Handyman is saying, from Facebook, I have a question out of this lecture is for Exadata. I couldn't create it because shape file not seems. Can you please help? Okay, so Handyman, I'll take up your question in a minute. Remind me again. Exadata on cloud, you won't be able to create in a trial account because I think there's minimum spend you need to reach 20,000 pounds. It's an expensive piece, Exadata, so it's not cheap. Yeah, that's right. Um, can you please share the course content link? Hassan, if you go to the free class, ketonacademy.com/AZ103, AZ104, AZ1040, I forgot, 02. Yeah, oh yeah, sorry, here it is. ketonacademy.az10402. This is where we have, my team will share the link. I think the course content link is AZ10403. That's the course content link, but go to the free class. Um, Nabil Hassan again, sorry, from YouTube. For Azure admin course, will you be focused more on a DBA side? No, it will be more on administration side, or it will be in general Azure cert. It will be Azure cert focused only. It will be Azure certification focused. Administration part, as I said, 5 things which I mentioned earlier. Okay, great. Let's move on. Um, oh, Yamni, how much time we have? I wanted to cover the availability zone and availability set very quickly. Can you give me 15 more minutes? Or can we do it? Put it in the chat window. I think chat message will come a little bit later. Tell me whether I can do, or our software can only allow 1 hour. Just quickly. Guys, do you want more? You want why? This is another question we get again and again when I'm creating a VM. I get this availability zone or availability set. What is this availability options? I'm not sure because whether it's going to kill us every now 30 minutes. Let's wait for the messaging if it comes. No, it's still old. Still old, still old, still old. Okay, let me move on. If it closes, it closes. So when you're creating, so another question you get in exam is about availability set and availability zone. What are these? And when you're creating a machine, you can select availability set, availability zone, and what these means are. And here availability options, availability zone, and availability set, what it is. So I mentioned to you earlier about this architecture where you have a data center. In data center, you have racks. So this is rack 1, and this is rack 2, and rack 3, and rack 4. Like that, you can have a lot of racks here. And each within each rack, server rack, you will have a server 1, server 2, server 3, server 4, and each of these servers will be running multiple virtual machines, virtual machine 1, virtual machine 2, virtual machine 3. And in true sense, behind on these virtual machines, you might have a Docker, or sorry, containers, and then managing Kubernetes and all those things. Now, when I'm creating a machine, I create machine, machine will go into a data center inside a fault domain. And by default, Microsoft will put that machine into a fault domain. But if for high availability, you need to have 2 machines, because what if that machine goes down? What if there's a problem with that rack, server rack? What if there's a problem with the data center? And hence you need to have two servers for high availability virtual machine. So let's suppose you put this machine here on this box here, on this in this this fault domain or this update domain here. Uh, in this fault domain on this server here, and if this fault domain goes down, you lose your server. So what you do, you create one more machine onto but within a data center, but in a separate fault domain. and that is called as availability set. So when I'm creating two machines within same data center, but across different fault domains, that is called as availability set. But what if this whole data center goes down? Then I'm losing my both the machines. So what I can do, then I can then create my machines in two different availability zone. So I create one machine here, and second machine I create in second availability zone, which might be somewhere here. And that is, I'm deploying it on availability zone. So when you create and you say availability zone and you create an availability zone 1, you create a second machine and this time you select another availability zone. So what you're doing, you're getting zonal level high availability. Whereas here I'm getting availability set is only within a data center. So that's about availability zone and availability set. I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you understood it. Oh, Yamni is saying 10 more minutes. Okay, a message coming a little bit late. Thank you very much, Yamni. So here SLAs, my single VM, I only get 99.9%. And these are the exam questions again in Azure administration. Single VM, 99%. Then you have 99.95%, which is your availability set. So I'm creating two machines, but within my fault domain, within a data center, but in different fault domain, two availability set. Or I can create in separate three availability zones. I'm now getting 99.99% uptime, two machines, because I've created them into different availability zones. Or I can do across regions by using disaster recovery, which we saw Azure Site Recovery. So then I'll going to get further higher SLA availability. I hope that makes sense now. Yeah. So this is another question you might get in exam. Now I'll quickly cover some of the questions. I've already taken some of the questions. So we can't have machine within two FDs. You can't have Eric. You can't have single machine in two FD, but you can have two machines in two different FDs. You can't have single machine in two FD. You can have, because machine will run, or a virtual machine can run only on a one physical device. So you can't have one machine running in two fault domains. You have one machine running on one fault domain. You can migrate or move them to a different fault domain, but at any given point in time, one machine only. Okay, very quickly. Oh, so by the way, yeah, so a lot of guys are also asking question about the training program. So training program, I'm going to cover that when so the next batch about Azure administration, we have a training program. As I said, that training program is going to start the 16th, I think. Is that right, Yamini? I think whatever is a Saturday and Sunday. So we have sessions. If you're interested, attend the free class and then let us know as well. If you want to go deep into this, what I've covered here. Let me take up these questions now here. Yamini, tell me if I've missed any questions here. Leave those more questions. I think I've covered all the questions. Yeah, perfect. So these were the questions being asked when he was there. So let me see if I can do justice with. Is there anything on Linux VM config also? Oh, I forgot what is the question. Okay, so this was related to the PowerShell and Cloud Shell and CLI. So what is required from a different operating system, Mac OS, Chrome OS, Linux, Ubuntu, etc., when running PowerShell script using Azure Cloud Shell? Okay, so first of all, Cloud Shell is nothing but when you log into the Azure Cloud, you start on the portal itself. You will have a shell. You click on that and you get a shell. In that, we will give you an option of either running in a bash or running on a PowerShell. And depending on that, PowerShell or bash, when you're running PowerShell, you don't need anything. You're not doing anything on the client machine or on your laptop. Everything is running PowerShell from the Azure Cloud account itself. That's why we call Cloud Shell, which is running from the cloud. Now that same PowerShell you can install on your own machine as well. That's another option. Similarly, Azure is the Azure command line interface is Azure CLI that you can install locally on your machine. That's AZ. That you can do on a Windows machine. You can do it on a Linux machine. You can do it on Mac machine. Okay. So I think probably we are spot on time. I'll close this here now. If there's no more question, Yamni is saying, Eric is saying, so we can't have machine within. Oh, yeah, sorry, option. Which one is good? 103 and 104. So Vijay, I've answered this from coming from YouTube. My session to you would be go for 104 if you can, because there's new topics, new additional topics, which is Kubernetes, Docker. I love that. But in the training program that I mentioned to you, we cover both 103 and 104. 103 has topic like AD Connect, but which is not in AZ-104. 103 doesn't have Kubernetes and containers, but 104 does have. So I think I would say if you have an option to go for 104, but if you already booked the exam, if you already done the preparation for 103, you can still do 103 and we'll still continue to do that. We help you with both 103 as well as 104. With that, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Just want to do a quick, those who don't know or like us, probably connect us on, let me tell you the channels which we do: Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and yeah. So Facebook is ktonacademy.com/. Facebook. We have, I think, 45,000 subscribers. Oh, the biggest thing I forgot is, if you're coming and forgot about subscribe our email list, and this is where on a weekly basis we send a lot of useful more content. So ktonacademy.com/subscribe. We have, I think, 54 or 55,000 subscribers. Subscribe. So ktonacademy.com/subscribe. Oh yeah, 54 or last I enter your name and email address, and this is where you will be sending you usually Oracle and Azure tips. Okay. So where I yeah. Apart from that, we have just crossed YouTube 10,000 subscribers, and we recently started focusing on YouTube as well. So you'll be getting a weekly video on YouTube. It could be Oracle, it could be Azure, mix of both. LinkedIn is my personal profile. Again, guys, I get hundreds and hundreds of messages every day. If I'm not responding your message, it doesn't mean that I don't care. I really, really care and respect your messages. It just I have a long queue. My messages are managed by someone else. Similarly, email address, if I've not picked up your email address, I'm still picking up. I have a team now who manages the email address. So I don't get a bandwidth because I get so many messages. So if I'm not answering your question or email, it's in the queue. It's being helped by my team. The LinkedIn as well, link me. Also join the Telegram group. This is focused only for Microsoft Azure, this group. With that, thank you very much. You've been wonderful, guys. I hope you found ton of value. If you like it, then as I said, please do share it. Don't forget to share. If you have any feedback for us to improve this, we'd love to hear. Probably I might do it, and I'll see depending on the feedback. If I get a good no, good, not about feedback. If you really enjoyed it, if you like it, if you want to see more sessions like that, please leave a comment, and then I would love to do maybe next Thursday, or do it either Tuesday or Thursday. Maybe we reduce hours, maybe do half an hour or full day, not full day, full hour. I don't know, like, yes, I'll say. Handyman replying to Handyman, sorry, sir, the error I'm getting when creating automation, autonomous accelerator request is rejected because port 22 is not enabled in the egress. Okay, I need to look at a specific requirement, what you're doing. But if you're trying to do the Exadata machine, you won't be able to do that on a trial account, Handyman. Don't try. But security list is something you probably, yeah, that's one of the prerequisites you need to do egressful. Um, do you do, Farooq is saying, do you do anything on AWS? No. Right now, Azure is keeping us busy. No, Oracle and Azure. So Oracle, I've done the free certification. Since then, our certification uptake has gone higher. Even though there's a lot of free training available on, but we are getting a lot more requirement and a lot of registration on Oracle. If you're from Oracle background, we have a free training coming on Sunday. I think it's on Sunday. My team will share. If you want to know more, leave a comment. If you're watching this later, I'll still be replying all the questions. So don't hesitate to ask questions, leave a comment, and my team will be answering these questions. If for some reason, if you can't, reach out to message on, oh yeah, so leave a comment. I'll make sure that my team answers those questions, or tag me in that message so I can I'll pick up and answer your questions. With that, thank you very, very much. I hope you got ton of value. You found it useful, and take care. Bye bye. And big thank you for Yamni from my team for setting it up. For me, I'm not that tech savvy. For me, these things baffles me. I get nervous because of too many things. And also Pratik for my team, Amit, and anyone and everyone who was involved, Mustafa for all these messages, mails, everyone in my team. So big thank you, Surbi, um, everyone, get those who are involved. Thank you very much. And I just need to now know how to close this. So give me a minute. think I know it. Let's see. Let's see. I can do it.